The ultimate deck podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The ultimate deck podcast. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Wade and Shane back with the Ultimate Deck Podcast in this beautiful Friday. Correct?
It's Friday.
My days are all messed up. I have no schedule.
That's not true.
Shit happens when
You
it
have
happens.
a schedule.
I don't have a schedule.
Just doesn't happen on the day.
My schedule is whatever my wife's schedule ends up being, which usually changes 3 to 6 times from when she first tells me what day she's working to what she ends up working. And often it just ends up right back at where it was at the start.
Or is it that you didn't listen properly?
Nope. She can attest to this. She wouldn't, but
She could. She could. It changes.
What's going on? What have you been doing this summer? What's your latest and greatest?
Not much. Like I went up to Emma Lake. I went boating for a week, which was really fun.
Nice.
Have you been to any of those lakes up there?
No.
North of
Like I've been to
Saskatoon?
Candle, but I think that's probably about the only one until you get real far north.
Yeah, Candle's a good one.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Years ago though, like a decade, like more than a decade ago.
So I went to Emma and I had thought that the lake was going to be a super nice lake. What happens is it's like 3 kind of smaller lakes and they're all connected. So people say that Emma is a really big lake, but it's not. Like you can't go for a long ways. You start to tow the kids on the tube or on a knee board or something and you run out of room fast and then you got to turn around. So you like the lake is short and then there's this little wee, I don't know. It's kind of like you have to drive around a small, like, let's call it a causeway maybe. And so you drive not very far and then you slow right down to 5 kilometers an hour and you go around this little wee bend. And then you have another lake
Into
that's
the
about
next
the
lake.
same size.
But
and
it's
then-
all called Emma Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you can't, like, it's not like Long Lake where you can go for hours, right? It's
Puddle hopping.
anyways.
Sure.
But it's a little bit cleaner than some of the lakes around here because you get into northern Saskatchewan and you don't have any, it's not as much algae and stuff. So
Yeah. This time of year is always tough on those shallow valley lakes around these parts.
Yep.
I think some of them stay okay. The ones that are deeper, like Last Mountain,
Yeah. it's
65 feet deep, whatever, like it'll stay
fine. Or
cleaner.
more. Yep.
But the ones that are like 20 feet or less deep, they get pretty green at this time of year.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's not very good. So north is great. So that was fun. A little bit of time on the water. My golf game has done what golf games always do. So it was like started okay. Then I don't know, like a month ago, it was just in like total disrepair. It was like complete garbage.
Yep.
And it's back now. So
sweet.
yeah.
Good. Well,
You?
I was going to try to get this thing going, Wade. You said you didn't have much time. Me, I haven't done a whole lot. Like summer started so late that we just never really got into summer mode. And then, like, I don't know. It's only like, and then summer's been absolutely gorgeous since
Yeah, it's been a good
July.
one.
Like July and August have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But like spring was terrible. April, May, June even was like not great. Middle of June. So like we spent a little bit of time at the lake, but not much. We were out there this past weekend, did the same thing, took the kids tubing. But that was about it. Pretty chill. So
Yeah.
No major excitement in the Chapman family this summer.
Are you going anywhere this fall? You going to try and do anything?
Like we're flirting with the idea of a big trip, potentially like Disney World, but like I'm already feeling the frustration of having family members being non-committal. So I might just say F it.
Yeah.
You can all stay home.
Yeah. And you mean like family, like your wife can't commit to this trip, so it's just like you and the boys are going to go?
Yeah, exactly. Wife / her parents are going to come, and it's like, I don't know what's going on. Like I keep having to bring it up. And it's like, listen, if you guys aren't interested in making this happen, I don't need to force it down your throat. So,
Yeah.
So I might just leave it alone now. So
Yeah.
So then nothing.
You could go to Canmore.
Could.
Waterton. That's a really nice spot. It's not far.
We were just there last year.
Not a big drive.
Like through Waterton for a day, but I would like to spend some time there for sure. But it's unlikely to happen this year. So anyway, the story this summer for a lot of deck builders has been that it's been slow. So, some guys are doing okay, but nobody's like, oh, I'm booked all year, which some years you hear that. And there's been often a conversation started on the internet of guys being like, anybody else like super slow? Like I'm super slow. A lot of guys in Ontario are saying that. A lot of guys in the States are saying that. And I mean, with the way the world is and the economy, or whatever, it's like that's probably the reason. So, but a lot of them are like, what do I do? Like, what can I do today to like turn this around? It's like, well, there's no golden ticket to just like turning it on.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not like that, right?
Yeah.
It's not a quick fix.
Yeah. But anyway, we thought we would come up with 10 simple little marketing ideas that you could do, that you should do regardless, whether it's busy or not. These are things you should be doing. But if it's slow, now you have the time to take care of these things, which will result in more business. So we'll go through them one by one. They're not in order of like importance, but they're in order of how they came to my head.
Into your brain.
So, number one is making sure you have a website with clear communication. So, God, if you like, that could have ended at website for some people. I'm shocked.
I don't know that you have to have with clear communication.
That some people still don't have these. You're running a business and you don't have a website. Oh,
It's for sure the first place I look for stuff.
God. Like,
You know?
if you don't have a website, you can't even do half the other things that are on this list. So get the website. But the website should also be set up very well to communicate what it is exactly you can do for people, what problems you solve, how you can make their life better. Not just like, you dug up a WordPress site from 2008, did it one time and wrote a bunch of text and then just left it at that. Oh, my phone's connected again. Look at that. But actually, like, speak to your customers. Let them know what you can do for them, how you're going to resolve their issues, address their concerns.
Yeah, and I think something that would be important to note here is that you don't have to wait until your website is absolutely perfect to get it going.
Right.
Just launch it.
Get
just
it up
like
first.
get it up, right?
Websites are a work in progress. They're never done.
Right.
Never done.
And so, yeah, if you don't know how to do this, hire somebody, make it happen. It's not the most expensive thing you'll do in your year. So get a website going, get it up, get it running.
Absolutely, the thing that'll bring back the most cash to your pocket, though.
Yeah.
ROI, it's never mind. Number two, SEO on that website. So it's great to have a website, but if it's not actually generating any traffic, then it's not doing much for you. So just having the website itself isn't good enough. You need to make sure that it's actually getting picked up and indexed and ranked in the search engine results page so that you're being found, because most people aren't going to try too hard to find you. They're going to be like deck builder in
Region.
St. Louis, whatever, right?
Yep.
And they're going to scroll through the sponsored ones, and they might get a top 3 in the map pack, which we'll talk about in a second. And then they're maybe going to look at a few of the organic listings, the top 3 there. But if you're not in page 1, if you're not at the top of page 1, it's unlikely you get found at all.
Yeah.
So get the website up, but then also make sure you're doing at least the basic SEO things to ensure that you're ranking well. And this can deliver like really simple results. And if you're in a non-competitive area, if you're in a small market, that's, there's 30,000 people that live there and there's not a whole lot of specialized deck builders, you don't have to do much.
Right.
Get the site up, do some basic keyword research, and away you go.
Yeah.
If it's more competitive, it'll take more effort and more money. But regardless, don't forget to do that part.
Yeah, and it'll take some time, but that's okay. You can't. you have to get started.
Yeah.
So
the website, if we're comparing it to like a small retail business, the website part is like the actual store, building the actual store that has the stuff in it. And the SEO is putting the signage on the building, making sure you can be found when people drive by.
right.
So, and then next up after that is the Google business profile. So don't neglect that either, because for something like this, especially service-based businesses, this is what people rely on more than anything. They might Google something and it's like, if Google's like, hey, what about these top 3 businesses that are, very relevant to your search?
Yeah.
They often won't even get to the organic stuff.
Yep.
It's just who did Google suggest in the top 3 listings there?
Right.
So, and that's just a matter of like, there's a lot of pieces to it, but the most basic and most important piece is to make sure you've claimed your listing and you actually own the listing, first of all.
Yeah.
And then make sure it's filled out completely and that you're posting to it. Some pictures, some posts and stuff to it as well. Keep it relevant, but make sure it's complete is the first step.
And then this is where those 5-star reviews come in, right? Because it's like,
right.
So as people are or even 4 stars, let's be honest, it doesn't matter. You just got to get some reviews.
Yep.
You need people interacting with that page, being like, I hired this company and they were good or they were fine. The idea of a 4-star review isn't the worst thing in the whole world. It's like, we all know that when we purchase things, less than 5 is okay.
Yeah.
It starts to get to like 3, then you maybe want to maybe want to change some of that.
For sure. But point being there, like, don't remember what I was just going to say.
Get your business page up. And
asking for the reviews, I think, is what I was going to.
Yeah, just make sure it's active, right?
Once you have that profile, a major component of it is making sure that people are leaving you reviews on there. So make sure you're asking for reviews for a Google business profile, because it's a major ranking factor in how they determine which businesses are getting listed. One of the things. There's a few things. Proximity to the searcher, which is something you can't sometimes control, but there's a number of things that they lean into there. And so make sure it's complete, be active on it, get those reviews. It'll help.
Yeah.
Number 4, pick a social channel and commit. As opposed to just saying like post on social media. I know that deck builders are busy people and they're not social media managers. So,
and that's hard to like, there's a lot of social media.
Right.
It's busy.
Yeah. And if you spread yourself too thin, it's just not going to be effective anywhere. So what I mean by that is just like pick the channel that you feel most comfortable. If you struggle with this, pick the one that you use the most, because you can understand it the most and you're going to be the most likely to post to it.
And you're probably already on it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's most likely that that's going to be the least resistance to forming that habit, is to use the ones that you're already personally using yourself and you enjoy using. So if, I would say for a lot of deck builders, Facebook is probably the number one to be worrying about. Instagram's good. But again, if you're just getting started and you don't normally do this kind of stuff, you don't normally post content, just pick the one you're most comfortable with and start there. Just start forming those habits.
That's good enough.
Because often, and don't expect that alone is going to bring you a bunch of business. People aren't going to be like, oh, I saw your post on Facebook and therefore I'm going to hire you. But what it does do is it gives you validation and it builds that trust when somebody searches you out. So maybe they do a search, they find your website, they're like, oh, who's this here? And then they find, and actually your Google business profile now lists your social media channels on there as well. Yeah. So it's very possible that they end up on your Google profile. They want to learn more about you. And they're like, oh, look, they have a Facebook page. They go to Facebook page and they're like, oh, yep. This guy just posted like 2 days ago and that looks nice. And it's just validation that you're a real business. You're still operating. You do good work, et cetera, et cetera. You're accessible. So do that. And then we get into more of the like traditional marketing stuff here. So yard signs. If you're not plopping a yard sign down at every job site you're doing, like start doing that. It's like those yard signs, they cost a few dollars.
They're so inexpensive.
And it's just free visibility. So
in a neighborhood, that visibility is important. That's the part that I always like about that, is that if you are building a deck in a neighborhood, then you're doing it because houses in that area need decks. That's why. Either they're being replaced and they all need replaced, or it's brand new and they all need built.
Yeah. It's pretty common for that to happen. Like somebody needs a deck and it's because that neighborhood is 20 years old, and they all start needing
time to go
at that point, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So very smart just to plop that up. You get the traffic as well. Like some streets may be pretty slow, and so you're only going to get that visibility with the local neighborhood, and that's fine. But maybe it's on a busier street, and you're going to see 10 or 15,000 cars ripped down that street a day. Like you just never know. So for the cost of it, it's like the cheapest way to get your name out there. And then wraps. I just put wraps in general because you may or may not have a trailer. But if you do have a trailer, wrap that sucker. And if you don't, then wrap the truck, or at least get some sort of deckling or branding on that thing. So
it's an affirmation thing again.
Right. That certainly helps with the trust again when you pull up into somebody's driveway for the initial consult, and it's like, oh, this is a real company. They've got branded trucks and everything. But also it's like same thing as a yard sign. The truck's parked there, people see it. The difference is the truck moves around too.
Also moving around.
Like every time you're at a stoplight and somebody's sitting behind you and they're like, oh, and that doesn't mean everybody's like, not all those people need decks. 1 out of 1,000 of them that are stopped behind you is going to need a deck. But the thing is that you're not working for the 1,000. The 1,000 are just seeing it. And then the one person that finally needs you, you got
perfect.
It.
It's perfect, right? Yeah. Truck wraps are great.
You run through thousands of vehicles every week you meet on the road. So you only need, like I've had this even for our and we're just not to diminish ourselves, but we're just a supplier. And even that, I've been in parking lots numerous times where somebody will like pull up and be like, oh, you guys do decks? And they'll strike up a conversation because they see the truck.
That's right.
It's like that. That's all it takes. Paper the neighborhood. So same again in the same realm of the other last two is like you're in a neighborhood that is obviously needing decks. You know, unless somebody had a tree fall down or something like that. But you're in a neighborhood that's probably primed, a good chance it's primed for a bunch of repairs and renovations.
Yeah.
A genius way to go about this is to do up little door knockers or signs of some sort. When you start a job site, you go around the entire block or whatever. Pick 5 houses to the right, 5 to the left, 10 across the street, whatever
your number is,
whatever radius you want to use. Spend that 20 minutes, go put this door knocker on everybody's door. And the door knocker can say something as simple as, hey, just a heads up, we're working in the area, so you're going to see our trucks and trailers around. If at any point we're causing an inconvenience, please give us a call at this number. You're disguising this lead generation as like care. Like you care about the people.
It's the old Trojan horse.
Right. So you get to look good and you get to earn that trust again by like, oh, this was a nice little touch that these guys had. Odds are nobody's going to come and ask you to move your stuff. But if they do, it gives you a chance to engage with them.
Yep.
The other part of it is like sometimes you'll get a really shitty neighbor who, if not for that card, would just call the city and see if they could get you towed. And so it's like maybe gets you a chance to like interrupt or like intercept some sort of like shitty attitude.
And you get to sort of vet some customers too, right? It's like if you're building in that neighborhood and then the neighbor comes over and they're just like, they're complaining the whole time about your trailer and your truck. And then they're like, hey, and I also want a quote. And it's like, yeah, I probably don't need to give you a quote. Like you complained the whole time I was here. I don't want to actually work for that person.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and there's this chance that the other neighbors who needs a deck might be like, can I come back and see like what you're doing? And
absolutely.
Like, such a great idea.
Then
and again,
you got
very
them.
low cost.
Then you got them.
Yeah.
If they're in there.
Number 8 is running some targeted ads. So if you are active on social media and you're paying attention to that, or even Google, you might have to spend a little money to run some ads. If things are slow, it's like this is the most frustrating thing in business is like when businesses are slow, the first thing they do is axe their ad budget. Ugh. It's like cart and horse here, people here. You can't like, oh, the cart's not moving fast enough. Like get rid of the horses. No, what? How's that going to solve the problem? So you might have to spend a little bit of money. It doesn't have to be a ton. If you can target things accurately enough, you don't have to spend a ton of money. You could target specific neighborhoods. If you can go back through your Rolodex of people you've done work for and have their addresses and notice that they're all coming from a select neighborhood, well, then target that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And run some ads there. You could run, like there's many ways to retarget people in social media, but the moral of the story is here, you might have to do a little bit of paid stuff here as well.
Yeah. And if you don't know how to do all this and you don't know like how to run ads like that, you just hear it and you're like, oh, I'm a deck builder, I should run ads. Then it's like, reach out to somebody.
Yeah, because if you go and do it without having any idea what you're doing, you're just going to waste your money too. Like,
yeah, and I don't think that the social media platforms are super good at helping you, right? It's like, put your money,
spend money.
Right, they help you spend money, but they don't help you get to the right people.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yep. And then you know what the other thing you can do actually is you can, if you've done a lot of work for people over the years, you can actually use that customer list as your retargeting. Like you can retarget people that you can create a lookalike audience that looks like the people you've worked for before. This isn't going to work well if it's 10 and 20 people, but if you've done jobs for hundreds of people in the past and you have a spreadsheet of those customers, then you need basically their email address, you can upload that list and be like, find people that look like these people. And so you may not have the awareness to be like, boy, I never really thought about this, but I guess I always tend to work for people around 45 to 55 years old, and they always tend to live in these neighborhoods, and they always tend to drive these kind of vehicles. You maybe not have picked up on that, but if you upload that list to Google, they will find the similarities, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, we can find more people like that. Did I say Google? I meant Facebook. And they'll go like, then you'll be like, okay, this neighborhood, but only people that look like this. And let the platform do the rest of the work. And it's like, okay.
Totally.
Now all of a sudden, instead of like
AI is helping.
1 out of 1,000 people, is it relevant that you're showing it to? Maybe now it's 1 out of 100 or something, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
That can be pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 9, referral program. So if you haven't leaned into your existing customer base before, start now, because there's a pretty good chance they know other people that also need a deck. And if you've given them a good experience, they'll have no problem saying like, yeah, use this guy. You always see this too when people like, even on Instagram or Facebook, but when people are like, I'm looking for a deck builder, who should I use? People are more than willing to jump in and be like, oh, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so
absolutely,
just make sure that you have given them the tools to be able to refer you to other people. This may mean some sort of a kickback. Maybe it is hey, we give you a $100 gift card to your favorite local steak restaurant or something like that if we get a referral from you, or maybe it's 500, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
But give them reason to want to share your name. Number 10 I put in here was lumberyard loyalty. So if you don't have a good relationship with the lumberyard, you're missing out on potential source of a number of leads. And so if you're a guy who just shows up at the local Lowe's or Home Depot and just buys his stuff and takes off, or
Doesn't talk to anyone.
Yeah. Guy just floats around from lumberyard to lumberyard and shops solely on price and doesn't care about building relationships, it's burning you. Form some relationships with a salesperson that will have no problem referring leads to you. The problem is they need to know that when they refer things to you, that comes back to them.
Correct.
That's how we scratch each other's back.
Yeah.
So build those relationships, and all of a sudden you're getting phone calls because that lumberyard has lots of people looking for decks in there every day.
That's right.
And they need somewhere to build them.
Yep.
So be that guy. And one last bonus one.
Okay. I thought you said you were only doing 10.
This is a bonus one. That's why I didn't call it number 11.
It's 11.
Bonus. Be one of the good ones. In tough times, the bad ones dry up and go away. The good ones are always there. The good in any industry, but the good deck builders that are ones that are running a solid business and have, a boatload of work they've done in the past and a good client base and they've done good marketing and they have good operation going. They don't go anywhere when things slow down.
Yeah.
They're still generating business. It's just the difference is if your market right now has 100 deck builders in it and a bunch of them are just chuck in a truck type guys, as soon as the things slow down, all of a sudden there's only 20 deck builders left. Be one of the 20.
Yeah.
Do that by doing a really good job, making sure your customers are completely happy. Check off all these other boxes we talked about here.
Maintain your marketing budget.
Right.
You can decrease it a bit, but you still got to maintain it.
Yeah. So if you feel like you're drying up, you're maybe not doing enough to be one of those top 20% ones that's going to stick around. So change some things.
Yeah. And it doesn't those don't have to be significant changes or big changes, right? It's just answer your phone, reply to emails.
Yeah. But it's just when things are really good, when the economy's pumping and people are spending, it's really easy to run a business because the work just finds you because there's enough of it to go around to support twice as many deck builders as even is in the market.
Yep.
And so you get lazy with how you do it. You see this all the time in the forums. Yep. People ask what kind of advertising are you doing? And there's always guys that jump in there and be like, I don't have to do any. Word of mouth is all I need. Until it's not.
For now.
Until things slow down.
Yeah.
And then your word of mouth isn't going to be good enough. You haven't built the foundations of a strong business that can survive a slowdown.
Yeah.
So
to it. And it all happens, right? It always happens. It's just that's construction. It's ebbs and flows.
100%. So this is 10 high level things to take care of. If you need more help with any of this stuff, certainly feel free to reach out to us because you may not know what any of these things even meant. But if you need a little bit of help figuring your way around or coming up with a bit of a plan or strategy, you can certainly reach out to us and, maybe we'll help you if you're not a dickhead.
Yeah. The most important one.
I don't know where that came. Why?
Do you think the most important one is the website, or do you think it's one of those other ones down on the bottom there? If you had to do one.
I don't know. Like I said, they weren't really I think absolutely having a website, you have to have a website. It's not a lot. Is it the most likely to bring you new leads? If done properly in conjunction with the SEO and probably. But you could I think I don't know.
As if you're only a deck builder and that's all you're doing, I think you can probably do pretty well with yard signs and truck wraps and stuff, right?
You could, yeah. You could if you're a single crew, you're not trying to set the world on fire, then some of these traditional things that you're just trying to keep busy, they'll work. For example, if you don't have a referral program, that's not going to be the end of you. But if you don't have a website, that's
I think a website's pretty big. So Okay,
well, that's it for today. We got another one to record because Wade's got to leave right away. So on to the next, I guess, huh?
That was a fast one.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take another listen next week. We'll be back.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.